Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Luna Llena. And Luna Llena has this question. Is the future similar to karma? And I would never have thought of it in quite those terms, but I'd have to say the answer is yes, your future is similar to your karma because it will be partly shaped by your karma. Of course, it's also shaped by the decisions you make as you go forward. Karma is not the sole decisor in what you will encounter and where it will lead, but karma is very important in that. So in that sense, yes, your future is similar to your karma. Now, I think it would be appropriate to take a moment to review what karma is. And this is one of those questions that people from different backgrounds will give different answers on, and that's nothing new. Karma is an idea that has been believed in by a number of peoples for thousands of years. The Jains believe in karma, the Hindus believe in karma, the Buddhists believe in karma, and karma is also widely believed now in the Western world. But what all these different groups believe about karma is not always the same. From the Correllian point of view, karma is about attachment. Karma is the things you grab onto and carry forward with you. And you can grab onto them for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's just an emotional reaction. Commonly it's because there are lessons that you need to learn from that situation. And your higher self, your soul, knows this and will latch onto them and bring you back to them until you have learned those lessons. So from a Correllian point of view, this is the nature of karma. It's what you have attached yourself to and therefore call back to you repeatedly until you have disattached. And therefore, yes, it will shape your future, and so your future is similar to your karma. Now, what do you do about karma? Well, from the Correllian point of view, there are a number of things you can do, including living through it and learning the lessons. Learning the lessons without living through it, because if you learn the lessons and disattach from the karma, that really is all that is necessary to disattach from the karma. There are also a number of techniques you can use to work with your karma, including one that I frequently recommend, soul retrieval, which help to work on this at an energetic level. And all of these can be used to help to disentangle your karma and release things that you have attached to. And sometimes this is not particularly difficult, and sometimes it's almost impossible if the higher self feels that it must be held on to, because the conscious mind is not the final voice in this matter, the higher self is. So if your higher self is not ready to let it go for whatever reason, your conscious mind will not be able to do it until it has learned whatever is there to be learned. So this, from a Correllian point of view, is the nature of karma and why it shapes our present and future and how we can work with it. And again, it doesn't always have to be lived through again and again for those lessons that it offers to be learned, or whatever is causing it to be attached to be released. But for many people, sadly, they do need to go through it many times. One of the things about karma, and this is the Correllian understanding of the threefold law, is that karma does not just come back to you once, it comes back as long as you're attached to it. So if we understand the three and threefold law as being multiple rather than literally the number three, it describes this process. The reaction to those situations that you have attached to will repeat as many times as it needs to until you can release it. And you're lucky if it's only three in many cases. When I used to do past life readings on a regular basis, I often found people who had the same issue repeat life after life after life until they finally caught it and were able to release it. And this is how it works. So working with your shadow self is really working directly with your karma, at least in part. There are other things that are in the shadow as well, but it's a very important part of working with karma and releasing what karma is ready to be released. So that would be my answer to the question. I hope you find it helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be.
Precession of the Equinoxes. It was long ago observed that the physical position of the constellations had diverged from the theoretical position used by astrology. Thus, the spring equinox, which once coincided with the sun's apparent entry into the zodiacal sign of Aries, has not done so for many hundreds of years, and, since 2000 CE, more closely corresponds to the sun's apparent entry into Aquarius. From this fact, the theory of the zodiacal ages was developed, based on the idea that because as above, so below, celestial phenomena must reflect earthly conditions.